London's top 20 things you must do. Good day, my name is John Mayfair, and I've lived in London my entire life. I put together this tour to make your visit to London absolutely spectacular. I've chosen 20 of my favourite haunts and jaunts for you to have a taste of all the best London has to offer, from castles to clubs, shops to shoes. In fact, I work in a quaint little shoe shop in London's West End, and if you'd like my tour, swing by and say hi. I mean, everyone knows about Buckingham Palace and Big Ben, both of which you simply can't miss. But not everyone knows about the out-of-the-way restaurants, galleries, comedy clubs, piano bars, and markets that will make your trip to London one you will never forget. Here is the format of my tour. Each location is in alphabetic order, and it is organized as a separate chapter. So if what I'm talking about isn't your bag, simply skip it and move to the next. For each location, I've given a bit of history and included a short video showing and telling you a bit more about the place. So without further ado, let's get started.
Right in the heart of Westminster, Green Park is the smallest of the royal parks in London. Extremely popular with tourists and locals alike, you can take a walk and enjoy a picnic here. Walk along the Constitution Hill to the Bomber Command Memorial, or walk through Canada Gates to the Canada Memorial. After a relaxing walk and a day of touring, you can end your day at a pub in the nearby neighborhood of Mayfair. This video was just a small taste for what is waiting for you in London, so make sure you watch the rest of our London guides to plan your perfect vacation. When it comes to shopping, a place that shouldn't be missed is Liberty, an exclusive department store located in a wonderful Tudor building that dates back to the 19th century. Even if shopping is not on your to-do list, you can still admire this beautifully designed building. From Liberty, continue walking up Great Marlborough Street and take a right into Carnaby Street, a lovely road dotted with tons of funky stores. Walk through all the way to Golden Square and explore more stores and restaurants. Take the time and allow yourself to wander the small streets. After a well-deserved coffee break, it's time to continue your tour. Would you like to explore Soho or head to Trafalgar Square? It's your call. This long, tree-lined road leads from Trafalgar Square to Buckingham Palace. But this is not just any road. Regardless of the weather, this wide, beautiful road is bordered with parks and often decorated with Union Jack flags. The red surface apparently represents a red carpet running up to Buckingham Palace. Yes, this is the Queen's front drive after all. Walk up the mall to get as close to the royal family as possible, as Buckingham Palace is at the end of the road. Just keep in mind that the mall is closed to traffic on certain days, including Sundays and public holidays. This video was just a small taste of what's waiting for you in London. Make sure to watch the rest of our London guides and plan your perfect vacation. Walk through Soho's narrow, cobbled streets and enjoy this neighborhood's exciting atmosphere. There are so many small, quirky shops, delicious food bars, that Soho will never leave you bored. It's easy to get around this area, and you'll constantly find something to be entertained by, as Soho is packed with a mixture of gentlemen's clubs, karaoke bars, jazz clubs, nightclubs, and peep shows. As opposed to the other parts of the city, pubs here close around 2 a.m., making it a great area to go out. This video was just a small taste for what is waiting for you in London. Make sure you view the rest of our London guides to plan your perfect vacation.
Recently I found myself back down in London again. It was actually for the fireworks, but while down there, So went a day or two early and was just sort of the tourist and went to one or two of the tourist traps, and I thought I'd just make a short video about them. Now, I've been down and looked at Tate Modern before and wasn't really that impressed with it. However, also in central London, just off to one side of Westminster, I think the nearest underground for this is Pimlico, is Tate Britain. So popped my head in the door there and really did like it. It's full of all sorts of different sort of art related things, from some old masters to sculptures to some quite modern stuff. Now, one thing I am finding with these large museums and galleries is don't try to see everything all in one visit. So when I went there, I decided I'd just look into a couple of galleries, take sort of 2 or 3 hours doing this, and then before either sort of brain overload turned up or I just died of boredom if I didn't like it, I would break off and head off elsewhere and always go back later to see some more. So I went in there in the morning, and while there noticed they had an evening session as well. So I thought to myself, oh, okay, wander around in the morning, other things for the afternoon, get some food, then return back in the evening time. And that worked really well. Now, when I popped back there in the evening, I bumped into this Australian woman and her 2 daughters. And they were, I don't recall what a typical arty crowd, I'm not sure. But they sort of know paintings, they know the galleries, they know what they like to see and what they expect to see as well. And they were saying that they also had not enjoyed Tate Modern, but they said it was because of bad lighting. They were saying, they know their pictures they like, they know how vibrant, how bright they are, how sort of exciting they are to look at and things. But seeing these pictures displayed in Tate Modern, I was about to say Tate Britain, in Tate Modern, they just thought they looked so flat and bland and sort of dull and two-dimensional, lifeless, because of bad lighting there. However, like me, they did enjoy Tate Britain, so I'll definitely put Tate Britain down as a must-visit for anyone passing through London. Now, having done my look around Tate Britain, I headed across to the other side of central London. Well, it's only just the other side of central London. We're talking about the Strand, and then up a bit and to the right there is the Museum of the Royal College of Surgeons. Now, if you class these sort of museums into small and large, then this is one of the smaller ones and can be happily done in a couple of hours or so. However, I would say some of the displays there are not really for the squeamish. There's lots of sort of dissections and descriptions of how surgery has sort of developed across time. After all, this was set up as a sort of a training, educational place for up-and-coming surgeons, so they need to see sort of body anatomy and things like that. So there's quite a large number of sort of preserved bottles, or bottles with preserved bits of animal and all sorts of things there, and body parts and things which, well, as I say, may not be absolutely for the squeamish. There were some quite interesting sort of tools of the trade there of the surgeon profession, going back to sort of Napoleonic times when it really was just how quickly could you chop an arm or a leg off, through to sort of modern equipments of what's now used in surgery. Again, I found them quite interesting, though again I think it might not always be for absolutely everybody, but allowing for that, I will give the Royal College of Surgeons Museum a definite sort of thumbs up, must visit status. The final one I went to and thoroughly enjoyed was the museum attached to the Wellcome Trust. Again, central London, this is up close to Euston, so we are still in this sort of situation where if you just have a couple of hours to spare waiting for a train or something, head on up there and have a look around. Sir Henry Wellcome, who was, I was going to say a bit of an eccentric, but in reality just totally mad, I think, collected some amazing things from around the world and from all sorts of different cultures. So you have one section of his sort of historic stuff, does concentrate quite a bit around death. But then the Victorians had a far more sort of relaxed and easygoing sort of attitude to death, perhaps compared to we have these days. Mind you, compared to that, to the Victorians' attitude to sort of sexuality and gender issues, well, there's the other extreme. Anyway, yes, his sort of section of his collections and things, and then another section of what the Wellcome Trust are doing at the moment. Now, there was a slight overlap here with the Royal College of Surgeons in that the Wellcome Trust is very sort of medically orientated, but some really sort of interesting stuff there. You can look around there again in a couple of hours. Quite a bit to see, both old and new, so I will definitely give that a worthwhile sort of thumbs up place to visit. So there we go, Tate Britain, Royal College of Surgeons and the Wellcome Trust. Anyway, enough of this. Bye-bye.
We're at the Tower of London. Not inside yet. Yep. Oh, I have that.
London Landmarks by Appa Apps.
Albert Bridge.
Swipe to hear again.
Albert Bridge.
Now, if you want to see all the facts about Albert Bridge, draw a bracket on the screen. And scroll down, you'll see that there are lots and lots of facts about each famous London landmark. Tap to continue.
BT Tower. BT Tower.
Now, if you draw a question mark on the screen, it will take you into the help mode. And here you can see all the gestures that you can make on the screen. It makes life easy, and if you scroll right down to the bottom you will see all the other apps that are made by Appa Apps. There's a very wide selection, something for everyone. Tap to continue.
BT Tower.
Now if I draw an S on the screen, that will start race mode.
Nelson's Column.
And you have to race
St. Martin in the Field.
through all the London landmarks
Tower of London.
as quickly as you can,
Traitors' Gate.
clicking on the right photograph
Buckingham Palace.
and trying very hard
North Greenwich Arena.
not to make a mistake.
Royal Albert Hall.
Oh, I'm not sure. Let's try this.
No, that's the Wellington Arch.
Oh dear, I made a mistake. So the race is over. And now I can see what my race results were and what my best time was. Tap to continue.
Royal Albert Hall.
Now, if I draw a backwards S on the screen, it will take me back to the race results. And I can check them anytime I like. Tap to continue. And if I want to exit the game, then I can draw a square on the screen. And then I can come back to play Famous London Landmarks another time.